Shanti, good morning. Does it sound okay?
Yes, you're audible.
Thank you. So, very good morning, and thank you for that lovely song. The poets have written, the singers have sung about this topic that we're going to talk about today. And Baba loves this particular name that he often talks about in the Murlis, that he refers himself to be the flame, and he refers all of us to be moths who are in love with the flame. And in a similar way, all the poets have referred to the beloved to be the moth, and the lovers to be the flame who can't live without the flame. So they are automatically attracted towards this light. In nature, we see this phenomena also that that whenever there is any kind of light, there's insects always gather there because they love the light. So it's something that I really love when we hear about in the Murli, and I was actually introduced to this story. I don't know if you heard the story. There are many stories actually. I was introduced to this story before actually coming to Gyan, and I knew about this story from my journey with the Sufis, and it's very beautiful. When I heard this the first time, I was very intoxicated with this, and actually it opened up some understanding of what does this metaphor really mean. And as you might be aware, that stories and metaphors, they are very strong actually in expressing something that cannot be expressed in words and in our logical understanding of things. So I would like to start with this story. Maybe you've heard it before, or maybe you haven't heard it before. But I would like to start with it because it really inspired me to understand spirituality in a different way. So the story goes like this, that it was in the evening, as usual. All the moths had gathered in one place, and on the other side, in a palace, there was this flame. Sometimes it's referred to the candle, just like you can see there. I don't know if you can see the moth. So 1 second, let me just see if I can show you the picture. 1 second.
It's visible.
Yeah, so I just wanted to show you. Can you see the moth there? It's actually in the flame. So that's how um, the condition of the moth becomes when it's absorbed in the flame. So the story goes like this: the moth had gathered, and there was a flame, and they were talking about, about the flame, and everybody had something to say about the flame, you know. So it was a very interesting meeting and interesting discussion, And whenever you hear the moth, try to see that your Brahmin gathering is like the gathering of the moth. Eh? And then you can see what comes up with you. I'll share the story and then I'll ask you what is your meaning of this story. So the one moth got up and he said, I'm going to explore the flame. And it flew from the group and it went towards the flame, went quite close to the flame, looked at the flame, came back, and spoke to the rest of the group. And because there was a longing, right? There's a longing between the moths. They are longing for the flame. And they were being really, there was this restlessness amongst them. That's why they gathered together to understand, and know how is it that they can really experience the flame. So he came back and he said that, look, there's this very bright light and it's very warm and very beautiful and it's really lovely. And, he started, talking a lot and, about the flame and how grand it is to the rest of the group. And he finished whatever, and some of the other moths, they were kind of commenting on what he was saying. But there was another moth amongst in the group. He said that, well, actually, I'm not sure if I'm satisfied with what you said about the flame. I would like to go and experience it myself. So the second moth flew and went close to the flame. And he went near to the flame and he went, made a few circles around the flame and was very impressed by the flame. And in that process, as he was going around, one of the wing was very close and he kind of, touched the flame. And he came back and it was like, a little bit, because of the wing being slightly damaged, slightly burned, he was not flying properly. And everybody gathered around the moth and asked, how is the flame? How is the flame? And the moth said, it was so lovely and amazing that I lost my awareness for some time and I burned myself. It's very hot and it can burn. And he came back very afraid and very shaken by the flame. And everybody was confused. The first moth went and spoke so grandly about the flame. And the second one came back and he said, like, yeah, it was warm and nice and, lovely, but, I burned myself. So you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful about the flame. So like in the song, they mention about the flame is going to burn you. And the moths actually burn in the flame. So we've heard about it. And so in the group of the moths, in the gathering of the moths, they were a bit discouraged, and there was fear also within the group. And they were wondering, what should we do? At that time, the third moth just got up and said that I am not satisfied with this. I'm going to go and I'm going to explore the flame. And, the third moth took off and she went straight to the flame, looked at the flame, no second thoughts, jumped into the flame. And of course, if you are jumping into the flame and you are a moth, what is the natural thing to happen is that you get burned. So it got burned. And it didn't come back. And then the gathering was trying to think, and they were all asking the question, what has happened? Look at this crazy moth. He's died. He gave up his life. Poor crazy moth. Okay. So I'll not finish the story. I'll pause here, and then I will finish the story after your feedback. What do you think happened with the third moth? And how did the third moth respond to the group? Okay, so we'll open a little bit of sharing. I know it's quite early for you, but I hope that this story kind of intrigues you to think deeper about this metaphor. So anybody would like to share, please go ahead.
Om Shanti, everybody.
Om Shanti.
Good morning. This I would like to share this moth. Certainly odd one out in the group, and had the courage to dive deep into the flame and becoming equal to the flame, just like the flame. It was burning with love, passion, and
That's it.
the unlimited this one. So I think that is that differentiates this mode from the other mode. Fana ho gaya or something like Vida. That Om Shanti.
Yeah, that's the name in annihilation of the physical. Yeah. Anyone else?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, Arif Bhai, and thank you, Divine Family. Thank you, Baba. So I got the message that when Moth is going to this diving that flame, so he enjoys, he energizes, and with his energy and with his flame, and he also enjoys with this flame. And both aims, yani ki what the energy of flame. He enjoys the energy of flame with togetherness and comebacks. He didn't burns because he is also a flame. So he didn't burns. So and came back and shared his feelings. Yeah, I enjoyed a lot. And it's a very fantastic, very wonderful feeling. Thanks, thank you very much.
Beautiful. Yes. There's one comment I'll read in between, just the next one. But I'll read the comment first, and then we can hear from any other person. Radhamani ji says that moth is number one moth. It doesn't have any concern for itself. Yeah, that's true. Anyone else would like to share their thoughts? What's the meaning of this?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
The third moth, which I feel that is attracted towards that wonderful light, and definitely when he jumped in, he got transformed from Sakar to Nirakar. And when you transform from Sakar to Nirakar, then you really feel the true essence of the love of that Almighty Baba. Then he must, then that transformation makes him eligible to be in the Dil Takht of Baba. And when you are in that Dil Takht, you forget yourself. And in that process, something wonderful happens. Om Shanti.
Yeah. So you all are very experienced moths, it looks like. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? What about sisters? Today we are not hearing from the sisters. Usually we hear more from the sisters. Where are the sisters? Mothers? We have to hear one sister first before we proceed. Yes, Rakiban. Oh, I thought you were going to speak.
Om Shanti Bhaiji and Divine
Shanti.
Family. I joined late. I was not able to listen to your full story, but as my reflection from yesterday, Murli as well, I can share my reflection. Moth number one.
Hang on, G. 1 second. Let me just repeat the story. And then you comment on the story, and then we'll come to the Murli. So there were gathering of the moth. The first moth goes, looks at the flame, comes back and talks about the flame. Everybody is impressed, okay? Because he says a lot of great things about the flame. The second moth gets the courage and says that I'm not satisfied with that. I will go and explore myself. Goes there, makes a lot of rounds around the flame, explores as he wants, and then suddenly one of the wings starts catching fire, but he manages to escape and comes back with a slightly damaged wing and says that, it was nice, it was great, but then suddenly I got burned. Please don't go there because you can get burned. Then, but at the same time, loved there was like, two sides of it, but did actually touch the flame. The third moth goes and jumps into the flame and dies. So the question is, the other moths, the ones who are gathered, and they said that, look at this crazy moth. He went and jumped into the flame and died. Now you have to figure out what was the response from the moth who actually jumped into the flame to the gathering. That's the question. So now you can answer the question. Now you know the story. You got the story, no?
Yes. I got the story.
Yeah. So now you have to answer what was the response of the moth. So many people have shared already, but what do you think that moth in the flame replied the group? Or whatever you want to share. It's okay. I can't hear any voice. I'm not sure if you guys can hear.
No, we can't hear.
We can't hear. Okay. I don't know. Maybe some technical issues. Okay. Any other? Yeah. Rakiban? What do you think was the response from the third moth?
The third moth who was merged in the fire, you're asking about that, right?
Yeah. So they said that look at this crazy moth. She gave up her life to this flame. And that moth replied what? It's just creation. There is no answer. It's your own answer.
So the craziness is only in the space of creation. So the third moth replies to the other moth. Other moths is, because that's the choice that the third moth took and merged in love. So there's oneness and there is no duality or a separate space is not there. There is oneness between that moth and the fire, the flame.
Yeah.
So I am become one with what I wanted to, what I chose. I am accepting my choice and I'm very happy about it.
Okay.
So craziness, creation, and choice has made that moth becoming one in what she loved.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes. There is one response online as well. Ombai says that the first moth had shared the message of love and second one shared fear, whereas third moth died alive and his act became message for others. Unless you die alive, one cannot become equal to the flame. Beautiful. Very nice, Samba. Thank you. Okay, so so the way that the story ends is that is somebody else wants to speak?
Om Shanti, I want to
Om Shanti.
add
Yes,
one
yes,
more
please.
line to that.
Please,
As you
go.
said that he jumped in the flame. The word flame was telling me that F stands for Farista. F stands for freedom. F stands for that he's free from all the anxieties, free from all the body consciousness. And
From
L is
fear
that,
also.
yes, L free from fear also. And L is love. And A means he's adorned with all the divine virtues. M is Man Manabha Madhya Jivi Bhava. And E, he become embodiment of Baba's knowledge. Gyan Sarup Gyan Murti. Om Shanti.
Embodiment, yes. Or equal maybe also.
Yes, equal also, yes, right.
Yeah. Okay. Radhamani
Yes.
says that the moth absorbed in the flame attraction. Yes. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Baji, can I add something as well?
Please, please.
And even though it is a metaphor, the underlying message is, the way I understood is, moth number 3, he became fully embodiment of flame. He was already had gained, I will say, full understanding about flame. He doesn't care what other moths are talking about, he's crazy or not. He was waiting for that moment. He didn't think even for a second before he jumped into the flame.
Yeah.
Does he care what other people think about it? Because he already gained that full, complete, perfect understanding about the flame, about himself. For example, there is a line in Guru Granth Sahib, Har ka sevik, har hi jaisa, har ka sevik, har hi jaisa. As soon as he jumped into the flame, there was no difference between me and you. There is no difference between me and you. Do I care what people say bad things about me? I don't listen to anyone. It's me and my beloved. Thank you. That's I think my
You seem to be an experienced mode too. Because your heart is actually speaking more than your words, So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah, lovely. Thank you for that reference and also the song. Ombai says true transformation is 1 second. Yes, is 1 second. So basically, I'll just finish the story so that we can move on. Okay, Girjaben, the flame took me in its arm. Yes. Okay, so these are all experienced moths who are being talked to, If you talk to the world, people wouldn't understand, They would say, this is the crazy moth. So the sound came from the flame. And the sound said that you do not know what I know of the flame, that I'm now in the flame and I have removed everything from the superficial, from the outside. I don't have all those things that you have, but what I am experiencing is this beautiful space, which is not possible to experience unless you jump inside the flame. I'm not the one who's crazy. It may be you who's missing this opportunity because you are thinking and you are coming close to me, which is basically the flame, but you have never known the flame. You just think that you know the flame, but the only way to know the flame
What
is
time would you like to eat roti? Please let us know.
to jump into the flame. Okay, so we'll proceed. So this is what the story says, and this really, got me thinking, which is not really what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to jump, and I was thinking about the story. And this is not a story that you need to think about. This is the story that you have to understand and have that courage to be able to surrender completely to the flame, whereby there is nothing which is body conscious that remains within you. The whole of the body consciousness gets burned. The whole of the old story gets burned. And the only thing that remains is to be equal to the flame. So I'll just briefly share a little bit about the characteristic as per Baba's Murli of the three types of moth. And Baba starts with the first one first. And Baba says that they don't have, I'll just share 3 points from the Murli. Baba says that the first type of moth, they do not have concern for the body. They don't have any concern for the self, which is the body conscious self. And they're willing, to give anything, for Baba. And they won't question anything. Okay. The second characteristic of the first type of moth, the one who jumped into the flame. So this the first one looks like this. Okay, this is the first moth. He's totally burned. He's totally immersed into the flame, and the flame and the moth becomes equal. Yeah, that's using Baba's word. Baba likes the word equal. So it's merged in love and lost to awareness of physical things. It's not because it's already burned, so it cannot know what is this things that they are talking about. Okay. And the third characteristic of this first type, the one who's intoxicated with love, it's a form of light and might. So there is a lot of power, there is a lot of light in this moth, and it's equal to the Father, and it's died alive. So it's still alive, but it's died to all body consciousness. It's died to the old world. It's died to the old sanskars, as we will see from the second type of moth. Okay, so this one is the first type of moth. And then now we go to the second type of moth. And these are the moths that, what do? Yeah, they go round and round. They circle the flame. And these are most common ones, they, in any situation, you will see lots of moths who are circling. Very few actually dare to go in a first stage. Remember, these are all moths. There is no, they're different, but they all love the flame. That is one common string, that all the moths have some attraction to the flame. So the characteristic of the second type is that they are also attracted to the flame, but awareness of body consciousness doesn't allow them to have the courage to actually experience and merge with the flame. So they are attracted, of course, there's no doubt about it. The second characteristic of the second type of moth is that they keep spinning around the flame with awareness of body, relations, physical comforts, and all sanskars. Okay, so on one side, they are around the flame, but this awareness of body relations, all sanskars, some kind of comfort is still every now and then coming, which is not allowing them to move forward. Yeah. So these are the second kinds of moth. Then there is the third kind of moth that Baba spoke about. And the three characteristics of the third kind of moth is that they get, they are caught up in some kind of conflict, and they are thinking about the flame. Okay, the second one, they're questioning about the flame. Okay, so it's like, they are traveling in two boats. They want to see this also, and they want to see that, but they have a lot of questions. So this is the second characteristic of this third type of moth. They keep asking questions. Should I do this or not? Will there be attainment or not? Is it possible or not? Is it difficult or easy? Is this the only true path, or are there other paths? So they want this understanding. They love this understanding, but at the same time, they want other things. So you must have known that they come to the Brahma Kumaris, but then they go to every other place also. I was so lucky that I went to all the places first before coming to Baba, and then there was no other place to explore anymore. So I could see the difference. And the last point about the third kind of moth is that they don't have the courage to renounce their desires. So they have desires and they don't have the courage. So this is the ones who are like this. These are the third kind of moth. They want to hold on to the flower. They see the flame. They love the flame, but they are not sure which way to go. They want the world, but also they are a bit, unsure about, whether they should make the transition. And these are the kinds that will keep on asking. They'll come to take Gyan, but they'll keep on asking questions, And even after taking Gyan, also they keep on asking some questions, This is the third kind of mode. Okay. So this is what, in essence, I understood. And if I have to sum it up all, is that, of course, yeah. Now there is another part, which is the most essential part, is to now examine that we have known these three kinds of moths. Now we need to examine and see what kind of moth am I? What is my stage or my state? If Baba has explained these three kinds, what am I? I thought about it, and I looked at the description that Baba gave, and I thought that we can understand Gyan. We need to use our mind, but in order to have faith, you need to have that deep love within yourself. And I think with that deep love comes that courage to be able to make that shift and be able to completely surrender and become equal, and not really go into the spins of all different kind of things that are happening around, because that will move you away. It will become like, the one who's even touched the flame, but then moved away, and we have seen this happening so many times, people who have come very, very close and very, very deep, but then the moment something happens, then they move back to the relationship so they have good thoughts all the time, but they don't have that final courage to jump into the flame. And the third one, obviously, we don't even discuss about it. I'm sure you're not the kind of moths that are expressed in the third type. So what does this mean in a practical way? In a practical way, how does this appear? This appears where, you don't analyze things. You've understood and you have complete faith. Okay, it's not a blind faith, but a complete faith, unbroken faith. The faith which is beyond reason. Okay, and you're sure that this is Baba, this is what he's saying, he's telling me to do, and this is what I'm going to do. Having complete faith that this will take me to my final destination. which is to become Bapsaman, equal to the Father, and to become aware of my true nature, being in this world, but dying from this old self of myself. That's the only way whereby I can realize and I can experience the union and that being equal to the one and the only one. So again, I will pause here now. I have shared what I wanted to share from my side. And now it's your turn, and you can share what you liked from your side. Okay, so we'll pause here and you can now share. I can read in the meantime, maybe one comment before. So Balwinderji say, from the story, I'm number 3 Moth, but from yesterday Murli into the 3rd category, which is the lowest stage, wants to enjoy both worlds. Okay. I fit into the 3rd. No, I don't think so. You're the first one in that as well. You're not the 3rd one. So basically the Moth that actually merge and jumps into the flame. Otherwise, you won't be able to sing if you are the 3rd kind of Moth. So you're the first kind. Okay, so open to you and
Om Shanti.
anyone. Om Shanti.
There's one more aspect about the number 2 and number 3 modes, where Baba says that, as per the Murli, that they become very clever at the time of renouncing. That I am still an effort maker. How can I dive? How can I?
Justification.
Go very close or go into the jump into the flame, because I am, I have this fragile body. It will burn, and they have this kind of, body consciousness related feelings. Actually, it is like old belief systems. They're like awareness of old things, old belief systems, old customs, old traditions, which the world has made them, sort of they unreal things, which actually are unreal, but they're far from reality, and the world has taught them, worldly things. So they get stuck into that kind of pattern of thoughts. I am limited, and they actually limiting themselves, isn't it? They're limiting themselves.
Exactly, yeah. Now, I've seen in my life many people came to Gyan, but rarely I saw people when you told them something, they would ask some question. They say, we have this problem, that problem. And then, they'll always come with something else. You tell them, okay, why don't you try this? They'll do it, and then they'll come back and they'll say something else. They'll keep, postponing things and, not... and then rarely there will be that person that whenever you tell, they'll just hear you and immediately they will put it into, they will implement it, and they will not say, oh, there is this problem, that problem. These are the people who have love for Baba. These are the, the crazy kind of moves.
They miss the core. Actually, core is what is the thing. They miss the essence of the, so this is a checking point, actually. Sometimes, am I missing the core, or am I not feeling the in between the lines? What is Baba trying to say in any Murli or any Vardhan, or what is he trying to say? I'm a wonderful Murli, and where sometimes I feel I'm in number 2, and sometimes I feel, that's sometimes when we are not feeling Baba as he is, as he is, the unlimited, and we get bogged down with the day-to-day some kind of problems, or the daily grind. So that brings to this thing. Sometimes I shift from 1 to 2. So Amrit Vela is number 1, but then after, what happens after Murli? After once I go back to the office, or am I number 1? there. So that's, I think that's a big checking point which Baba has
That's
given
true.
us to introspect.
That's true. Yeah.
And shift, jump, again jump. We can jump. There's no limit to number of jumps. You can again jump and see your wings are, worldly wings are still there. They have to be burnt.
Yeah.
And take the alaukic wings.
Exactly, and in the world, burning means finishing, and they don't want that. The ego doesn't want to die. Basically, is the death of the ego, and the ego doesn't want to die because the ego is afraid to die. The soul is not afraid because the soul knows that it is immortal. It's never going to die. And the test of faith is that, are you able to totally jump into the flame without really analyzing and caring? So yes, there is a mind has its role, but in this case, it's a hindrance. If I think too much, I will not be able to do that act.
It's more of a heart
Like,
business. It's a heart.
have you done anything that is a little bit crazy? If you try to think, you will go away. Like, those people who jump from, the cliff and all that, the bungee jumpers and people who they jump from with parachutes and all that. You can't say like, oh, let me think, you just, at that moment, you just have to jump, and trust that. Yeah.
Just do it. If they think they cannot do it, they will not do it.
That's right. You can't do it. That's right.
They have to go beyond thinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what Baba's knowledge, according to me, is. There is a certain level you can think about it, but there is another level if you want to go to that path. I mean, this is also fine. You can manage. But if you really want to explore, you have to stop these questions in the head. You stop, analyzing, and jump into the flame.
One more reflection, Vaiji, is about this. When we go to the seed stage, then we are in that stage where we are beyond thinking, means we are in that unison with the Supreme, so that there you have the unlimited courage. Unlimited courage, where that
you have
seed
already
stage, soul consciousness stage. That's why Baba often says, "Apne ko atma samjho and mujhe yaad karo." I think that's a stage where you have gather all that courage to jump into the flame, isn't it? Of soul consciousness.
Thanks.
Om
Shanti.
Shanti. Thank you, Baba. When you read out the story, I couldn't unmute myself. I don't know what was wrong over here. I tried to add one or two in this. I couldn't. So I said, oh, well, the world isn't still waiting for my response. And I thought I'm just going to listen and all. See, when you read the story itself, your first moth, the second moth, and third moth, what you spoke, but in the Murli, it was the other way.
Yes.
See, in the
I mentioned that.
So when they said third and all, I think the sister who said she's the third, she actually meant the first.
Okay.
So for me, it was a very simple thing. See, when you are so much in the gyan, you know everything and all. Like, suppose, speaking of the first month, I know the Upanishads, I know the Gita, I went there. So I also went down to see the gyan. Oh yeah, it's nice, it's okay. But I need something else in this world. So I just come and tell, yeah, Brahma Kumaris are nice, they're good, everything is fine, they're pure, they're there. But ultimate nahi hai. Or kuch hai. So I come back to the world to enjoy, to see the other part. So in your story, I'm talking, that is the first moth. Like in Baba's Murli, that is the third moth. So that is how I took it. The second moth came. It really had some doubts. It had some questions. It didn't like something in the Brahma Kumaris. It didn't like something what is happening and all over here. And then it said, oh my God, this is what I have to face? No, then I'm better else in the outer world. I've got, and I cannot leave my relations. Yes, how can I leave? No, the question of leaving, in my life? No, not at all. I have still so much more to enjoy. I need. How can I leave my relations? How can I leave my this? I will enjoy. That is okay. This is also okay. So, but it liked something. I won't say it didn't like because it got burnt. It liked something, but it didn't have the courage to accept what it liked to be the ultimatum. Nahi, or kuch bhi hai. But the third moth, it was, I don't remember the story of a frog which was deaf, but it just jumped up. It didn't listen to any people down and all, and then it died. I'm not clear. I don't remember that story now. The third moth, nothing. Once it just got a taste of the flame, once it just got maybe its wing touched something of the flame. Slowly it went, the wing went, the body went, and then totally, like, that's what I just wrote, one word of my feeling. I am in the arms of the flame. I am the flame. So that what did it do? It didn't, that attracted it, the flame. It didn't look behind, it went inside the flame. Wow. And as if the arms of the flame took. And then it said, the people below, they cannot understand what is the flame. They have not seen the love of the flame. So beautiful is the flame. And then it gets totally merged to the flame. So the third, if you've seen the Brahma Kumari with this, when I come to the Gyan, there may be so many people, there may be obstacles. Well, I may be up and down, I may not do my Amrit Vela, I may not do that, but I and the flame can never be separated, because I'm totally in his clutches, or what you say. So I took it like that it's
To that.
enjoy. I will never
I can relate to that. There is fluctuation.
No,
yeah,
no
deep inside, you know that this is where I'm going to finally,
No, there's nothing else true. Like, I'll think all the people down. Why, God, you're not opening their intellects? Please open and even let them enjoy the flame. Even I want them to come and eat this gulab jamun and all with you, like that. I don't know. This is how what. And I couldn't write all this. Thank you, Baba, for really giving me this thing to unmute myself now. Om Shanti.
So Sister Radhamani says, still we are not aware of the most elevated destination. Yes, and you cannot be aware by thinking about the destination. You'll have to make up your mind that there is this and there is nothing else. It's like, you've already started the journey. There's no going back. And the only way is to go to the flame. I'm not going back to the gathering anymore. I'm just going to the flame. There's only one thought. And that's it, just Baba. And I surrender to that and I become equal to that. So this is a perfect opportunity to actually leave with some reflection. Is the only one, just one, yeah. So let us do some reflection and maybe experience also. What is it that to be with the flame? So just imagine yourself, you are that crazy moth that is not satisfied hearing great stories of the great people that have come. That moth that says that I know somewhere deep inside what is the truth, because I know I also am the truth. And I hear people talking about this, giving lectures, doing workshops, speaking about it. I hear them sharing their experiences. I see my life. And I see that there are so many traps that are there. Maya is pulling me on one side. But I know that there is only one way for me to find out about the flame. I can read, I can hear, I can speak about it. But to really find out the truth about the flame, the only way is to actually have that deep courage which comes from faith and which comes from that love that I have for the one. And I just, without any analysis, completely give myself and give all these things that I've accumulated, all these ideas, all these desires, expectations, just give up all the things. And this is the only way that I can actually leave. Otherwise, they'll keep pulling me back. Every time I have a little courage, there is some love that emerges. I want to go close. But then somewhere I kind of hold myself. There might be some, Maya at different stage might start coming and telling me things that there is still time. Your children are still young, or you are still young. You still have to work, you have to still earn, which is a good thing. I'm not saying it is a bad thing. But why should it stop me from surrendering to the flame? I could be in my house, I could be studying, I could be working, I could be a parent. But this does not stop me from dying alive, because in dying alive, the death is to the ego. I actually start living. There's the only way for me to completely live my life is to die. That death is actually not death. That death is actually really true living. And until and unless I don't have that courage, that strength, then I will be just waiting in the shore and talking about the water. Like I think Kabir said that standing in the shore, you can't talk about the water unless you dip yourself inside the water to see what the water is like. So in that similar way, just talking about how great this Gyan is, speaking and defending every moment, whatever other people have said about this, Baba said this, they're not bad, but that will not take me to that final destination, whereby I'm not trying. I know, I have tasted, and I have seen that the only way that I can actually move forward is to completely and totally surrender with love, not leave any of my responsibility, not being discouraged by or have excuses, not questioning and questioning and questioning. Just the mind and the heart has to unite and has to see that, okay, this is where my benefit is. And this is how I'm going to move forward. So Om Shanti. And we'll finish here for today. And again, thank you for this opportunity that I've been given to share a few thoughts on this last week's Murlis. So over to you.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. So we can learn from the Moth that how to navigate the transition with grace and ease. And it reminds us that ending marks the new beginning. Thank you, Arif Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. And see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a lovely day.